I don't think he's getting loads of chances per game.
I think one of the problems as well, because Manchester United are struggling and Rashford hasn't scored too many, or Fernandes, they're desperate to sort of score goals as well. So they've got that mindset going into the game, which is not helping him. And it's a little bit similar to Nunez last season. There's certainly things there that you like and look promising. It's just whether, you know, we can kick into gear and end up getting them goals. Are you confident we could almost see later on the second half of the season, or maybe next season, what we're seeing from Darwin Nunez this season for Liverpool?
I think so, yes. And I think, you know, as I said, for me, it's all about the chemistry and having those conversations, just getting an understanding between him and his teammates of what he likes. And they'll tell him what they like as well. And I think once they get that camaraderie together, then maybe he will get more opportunities. But right now, it does seem like he is not getting as many opportunities and he's living off scraps a little bit.
But the longer this goes on, it's almost 10 hours of football now in the Premier League for Hojlund without a goal. 11 shots in that time, and you look across to Darwin Nunez, and that's a big feature of his game, that he does get shots away. What else stands out for you here, Daniel?
I mean, when we talk about, you know, Darwin and Hojlund's, they got the big chances missed, of course, which it just shows about the composure that, you know, that they need to work on those things. And I was exactly the same, and I'm pretty sure every centre forward has been through a period where they've had to figure things out. If we're talking about shots on target and total shots, clearly Hojlund's way behind Darwin, which says to me that Darwin's getting himself in positions and the team are feeding him in those positions to be able to shoot. And also he is, at times, on that left flank saying, no, I'm you know, jinking this inside and I'm whipping this. And maybe Hojlund, over time, will get to a place where he'll say, you know what, I've got to start trying to make things happen for myself sometimes and try and create moments that I can get a shot away, because at the moment, there's not a lot of shots there. Obviously, there's, you know, a lot of minutes, no goals. It doesn't look good, but I don't think it creates the total picture. And I think it's very easy to criticise him when we've not seen him miss loads and loads of big chances.
We're talking about the number 9, the central striker for two of the biggest clubs in English football, arguably the biggest. But let's extend this conversation further, Jamie, across Europe. Is this a wider problem for the biggest clubs?
Yeah, I think when you see what Liverpool and Manchester United have done, brought young players, a project going forward, because there aren't that many great centre-forwards out there. And when you think of the biggest club in world football, Hojlund, they're age 33, a player who's played for Stoke, that's not befitting of Real Madrid. Lewandowski, legendary figure, of course, but he was 33 when Barcelona brought him in. Again, they're scouring Europe, and they think he's the best. Harry Kane, again, we know, one of the best in the world, but age 30. And then you actually get into the equation of, well, should the teams just go and buy the ready-made one, even if he is 30 right now, and try and win right away? But then you go through this list, and you know what you see there, Juventus, Vlahovic, there who came in. I know you're a fan of him, Daniel, but it hasn't quite happened for him at Juventus. Mbappe, of course, he's probably going to end up at Madrid. But the further you go down, there isn't a glut of great strikers around the world. And it tells you that some of the biggest clubs in Europe, not just the Premier League, are going to be looking for a striker in the summer. I mean, who in that list, Daniel, do you think is the one that you would go for if you were a Premier League club right now?
Of course, it's Kylian Mbappe is the number one.
Oh, you're not getting him.
I'm just throwing it out.
I think he's going to Madrid.
You asked me a question,
Good
so
luck.
I'd say Mbappe for sure. But then if you're going down this list now, Victor Osimhen's probably the next one in, you know, to say, okay, can this guy come in? We've seen what he can do, you know, for Napoli, the goals he scores, the pace he's got, the tenacity, the finishing. He's a top player. I very much like him. There are other players to say. Gonzalo Ramos was at Benfica before. He's now with PSG.
But in terms of these players, well, it's probably difficult to get players from the biggest clubs in Europe. We're just sort of highlighting that they've got problems themselves. Is there anyone you feel sort of out there, maybe in European football, that the Premier League clubs should be looking at?
Well, look, you've got, you know, Guirassy, who's second in the goal-scoring charts now in Germany. Behind Kane, I think he's got 14 goals this season. You've got the likes of Boniface at Leverkusen.